Welcome back to Fight Capital, where we step into the ring of combat sports business. I'm your host, Ryan Rappaport. Today, I'm honored to be joined by David Feldman. He is the founder and president of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship and has successfully transitioned BKFC from a high-risk venture into a globally recognized combat sports entity. His resilience and innovative approach has played a crucial role in legitimizing bare knuckle boxing and expanding its reach worldwide. Thanks for being here, David. How are you and where are you joining from?
Awesome, Ryan, man. Thanks for having me. I'm at my office in Philly, heading out tomorrow to Albuquerque for our first show of the year.
I know you've been all over the place, and just quick congrats. I know you guys got approved right around Christmas for California, which is amazing. Big steps forward there. And then also congrats on the partnership with Forged Irish Stout. That's a huge one there.
Thank you. We just announced that equity investment with Fubo. The Fubo invested into us today. And we also pitched Nevada on Tuesday. The event went very, very well. We went in front of their commission, and we're expecting a positive answer in about 2 or 3 weeks. So it's been a good start to 23 for us.
Well, keeping you busy. I love just for you to share a little bit about your journey. You spent time as a professional boxer. Now you're leading BKFC to become the first organization going back to 1889 to start holding bare knuckle fights in the U.S. What were some of the key challenges and milestones that you started in that unique journey?
I mean, the biggest challenge was perception, right? You had to break perception because, as you know, perception is reality in people's mind, and they perceive this to be a backyard street fight, a brawl, nothing professional, not organized. Everybody's going to get hurt real bad, and it's really anything but that. It's a very well organized, put together, well produced professional combat sports event with some of the best combat sports athletes in the world. Our injury rate is actually lower than that of boxing and MMA for everything except for lacerations. And let's face it, I'll take lacerations because people like blood, and you can get that stitched up, and it's not going to be a big problem or a big setback for a lot of fighters. So, it was really just breaking that perception, and we've been able to break that perception. And bigger milestones are like, look, California, a huge milestone, right? The guy said he would never sanction me forever, and we were able to change his mind, not persuade him, just do the right thing and change his mind. And we were able to change a lot of people's mind. And hopefully this network I'm talking to tomorrow, we change their mind and they give me that deal tomorrow, and we're off to the races.
Yeah, well, I've actually written a couple articles about you guys and shared some of that research out there that's confirming exactly what you're saying, that the rate of bare knuckle versus boxing and MMA, there's a lot less head trauma, concussive impact. So you guys are definitely onto something there. And I know since its inception in 2018, your team has rapidly expanded. You've had over 60 plus events. You've been in the US, Asia, UK. Can you just elaborate on some of those strategies that's driving this growth, and how do you really envision that future expansion both domestically and internationally?
We got to get grassroots. Grassroots marketing works the best. That's people talking about it, people watching it, talking about it, and telling other people about it. And that's really our model, is just to open up as many states as possible, do as many shows as we can, smaller, and then obviously the big marquee shows as well. Growing internationally is big for us because it gets a lot of people around the world talking about us and gets us international TV rights revenue as well. And that's a big deal for us, and a big driver in our revenue. Um, it's been crazy, the growth. I mean, we did 3 shows our first year, 5 shows our second year, 11 shows, 12 shows, and this year we're targeting close to 50 shows in 2024, almost as many as we've already done. We just did our 75th show total in Utah on December 2nd, and this will be our first show of 2023 on 2024 on Saturday in Albuquerque, our prospect series, which we're really excited about because we're going to grow a lot of the fighters from the ground up, get a chance to follow their journey, and make sure they have what it takes to play in the big leagues, and that's what we're trying to do. But really just put as many quality events and get as many quality fighters as possible to grow this thing.
Yeah, and I've really loved that strategy as well. You talk about the grassroots side. They had a BKFC tryouts at a local gym here that I train at in the DC area. And so, meeting those guys who are actually some of the guys who fought on your cards before, seeing the kind of groundswell that you've had. I've had friends and people in my network, luckily being close to Mike Perry and a few other people in the network, and you bringing in those big stars. Very cool to kind of see how you're expanding there. I know that you were over in the UAE right around Christmas time. Anything big news or anything kind of coming from that thing that you can tell me about today?
Yeah, man. Any minute, I'm expecting something. I mean, I have a whole slew of big time people come from the Middle East, Japan, Korea, all coming to the February 2nd event. Major investors, television networks, like it's going to be a who's who at that event, and we're expecting to walk out of there very, very happy, putting on a great event and forging some great partnerships. And when I say forge, like it always comes to mind of Forged Irish Stout, the partnership that we were able to close with Conor McGregor's beer and make him an ambassador for BKFC, and also get a sponsorship out of them. That was amazing. So there's just so many great things. But I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like, man, they're killing it. It's great. It's awesome. But this is hard, man. This is tiring. It's a lot of work. It's not easy, and we're going through a lot of uh, you know, trials and tribulations to get to where we have to be. But we're getting there. We're not letting people say no to us. We're not letting people, you take our dream away. We're just, we're working our asses off. We're doing what we have to do, and we're continuing to make this the biggest combat sport in the world. And, you know, is it ever going to be the biggest? Probably not. Is it going to be the second biggest? Bet everything you got on it.
No, I mean, you guys have been growing crazy too. And with that transition to the broadcast and the BKFC events on platforms like The Zone and Fight Plus, how do those media deals align with your guys' growth strategy, and how are they really impacting that ad reach or that ad revenue reach and those ad reaches?
Yeah, I mean the getting on a broader platform is just huge for us because it widens their reach, right? Although we're doing good, we're getting a lot of subscribers, we're in this box, right? And when we do pay-per-view, we're in this box. Break out of that box and let everybody see us. Be on a network that has, hundreds of millions of viewers on there, and they get a chance to watch ours. That's how we really grow, and that's how the UFC grew, and that's how boxing grew, and that's how all these other sports grew. It's just a matter of widening our reach, and that's what we're about to do. I mean, I have 3 deals on the table now. I just don't know which one I'm going to take. I'm waiting for one tomorrow, and that's the biggest one. If that comes true, it really just it takes us off, man. We were talking about it. I was actually talking to the guy today who did our first sizzle reel back in 2018, and he didn't know what we were doing today. And I kind of told him everything, and he was like, "I can't believe that from where you were, your little office. It was just you and 2 guys. It was me and 3 employees for 2.5 years. 4 people running this company, and at the end of 2.5 years, people were like, "Man, these guys are blowing up." Now we have, I don't know, 5% of the people that work for us that work for the UFC, and I'm not saying we're competing with them, but people are talking about us a lot now. So we're getting out there. It's just patience, hard work, and never quit.
Yeah, when we just look at the people that you've had on the cards, Eddie Alvarez, MVP, Sean, Mike, all these guys who are just putting on amazing shows, bringing a lot of buzz to it. And, in the end, anyone who's looking from the outside in doesn't see it, but me being in like on the ground guy knows it's a hustle. And I know you guys are out there working at it every day. What have been some of the biggest challenges that you've seen, and what are you addressing in the journey ahead here?
I mean, look, in any business as you grow, funding becomes an issue, and it's not an issue like if we did 6 shows a year, we wouldn't have an issue on funding. We have an issue on cash flow because we're doing so many shows. By the time the money comes in from the January show, it's already April, and we already did 6 shows, and we have to, fund those 6 shows, and then that money doesn't come in. So it's just really, it's not like a funding issue where we don't have the money to do shows. It's a funding issue because we can't catch up with ourselves. So we need that big lump to do the things that we need to do, and we're getting it now. And that's absolutely the biggest issue now. I mean, before we talked about a lot of the issues was perception and people thinking it was brutal, too brutal. And look, I don't run from it. Any time that you have 2 men or women in a ring or a cage, it's a little brutal, right? It's not safe, but we're no more dangerous than boxing or MMA. We're borderline brutal. We're bloody. We're everything that everybody wants in a combat sport. We truly are. And the thing that is the most important about this is we're relatable. Everybody can relate to us, right? Because you and everybody else in the world has either seen somebody punch someone in the face, been punched in the face, or watched somebody throw a punch. Everybody's watched that, right? And more so than that is what I've been saying lately is, listen, you woke up today, you had to go down to PFL, and you had to say, listen, man, I just got punched in the face right now. I got to go do all this stuff. Am I going to continue to do it, or am I going to sit back down on my ass and not do what I got to do? So we're getting punched in the face every day, and we're deciding whether we're going to keep going forward. And that's why, not that particularly, but that's why this relates to our sport relates to every single person in the world. It's relatable. That's why we're going to be the biggest thing out there, because everybody can really truly get behind it, and not just get behind it. They can envision themselves actually, man, you know what? Maybe I could have done that. I could have done that when I was younger, or I could do this. But with, MMA, they don't know all the holds. They don't know everything. And it's hard for them to really relate to it. Can they get behind it? Yeah, it's fun. It's exciting. MMA is great. Boxing's great. Bare knuckle is just the most exciting combat sport on the planet.
Yeah, I agree. I was at BKFC 18, and man, it was such a great show. The whole place was electric, and it was just accessible too. That was one of my biggest takeaways. It just really felt like the fans were there for the sport and that they were loving it. Just to wrap it up, what would you say are some of the personal insights that you've gained from leading BKFC, and how has your leadership style evolved in this really kind of dynamic and demanding industry?
I use this quote, and I'm sure you heard it before, but be the kind of leader that you would follow. And I like to be the leader. Like, when I say I do it for my team, I do it for my team. And every time that I get rewarded, they get rewarded every single time, every single time. And you got to be patient and not quit. And when I say be patient and not quit, it means, you're driving down this road and you're like, is this road ever going to end? And, sometimes you're like, man, I should just turn around because there's no ending in sight, right? But if you have the patience not to quit and get to the end of that road, that's when you succeed. And that's what I kind of try to teach these guys. We have a great relationship with the fighters. We have a great relationship with the staff, because we really want to see everybody succeed. And not everybody does that. A lot of people, top brass in organizations, they want to succeed. They're not really worried about everybody else. We want everybody to succeed, because that's what I'm in this for. I'm in this for a bigger picture, and my bigger picture is really to help change people's lives. And that's what I'm in it for, and that's what I'm going to do. And we've already done it. We've changed hundreds and hundreds of people's lives right now. I think we delivered a hell of a product out there with really some of the most exciting stuff you can have out there. And honestly, man, we haven't even scratched the surface. Like, you don't even know the plans that we got and where we're going in the next 3 years. I mean, I'm telling you, when I tell you, it's going to be hard for us not to be the number 2 combat sport promotion in the world in 3 years. It's going to be really hard for that not to happen. Unless we tried for it not to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's amazing. No, I'm bullish on you guys as well. I know the future's bright, and I really appreciate you taking the time today, because I know you guys got a lot going on, but can't wait to see what you do next.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks for being here.